Today's story time is going to be a funny one. It's combined of a few different stories about my old neighbor, Crackhead Jim. I don't even know where to begin. He's a basket case, so I'll take you back to where it all started. It's going to need a bit of a backstory to how I met the man, the myth, the legend, Crackhead Jim. So here I was, a dark, cold night. I went to go see a movie with one of my homies. I'm still in high school at the time, so I didn't have a car yet. My buddy was just gonna walk home, but me, I'm lazy. I didn't want to do that. So I noticed his sister was getting a ride home from one of her friends. So I asked if I could get a ride, and they squeezed me in, and she gave me a ride home. But that wasn't the end of our friendship. It would actually be just the beginning. So after that night, I would start going to her apartment, which she shared with her roommate Twinkie. I began to go over so often. Kay, the girl that gave me a ride home, hinted at my buddy Twinkie that Doink wasn't moving in, and so I figured that was a bust, and I had just moved out of my dad's house, and I didn't really have a home. Story for another time. I had been sleeping on their couch most nights of the week, before I went back to the place I had been staying. Eventually, one thing led to another, and me and Kay became a couple. So while all that was happening, we noticed our neighbor Crackhead Jim doing some pretty weird stuff. So here's a little backstory on Jim. He's a crackhead drug dealer that kept his dog in a Lazy Susan when his customers would come up. People tried to report him, but even the electric company right across the street turned their cameras off so they didn't have to be involved in an investigation. I'm not sure if Jim ever sold crack, but he definitely sold scrip and weed. He would take a trip to the city once a month to pay some doctor to give him unlimited refills on his scripts. And all the money he made from selling, he gave it to his dad to put in his account so he didn't get flagged by the IRS because he didn't work. And I found out later in life that his mom actually watched me when I was a baby. That's pretty fucking weird. But anyways, Jim had also been tied up and dragged behind a car. I don't remember how long they drug him, but I'm sure that fucked him up mentally. And they found his girlfriend dead behind a dumpster, with the murderer never being caught. So that's just a little bit of a background on Jimbo. So over the course of us living there, we can see him go outside multiple times a day, every day. And I mean like 10 to 20 times a day. He would sweep the driveway, and if he broke his broom, he would use his one and only towel to sweep the driveway. And the same thing for the walkway in the front door of our apartment building. He would vacuum the stairs, and either his broom or his vacuum broke, he would sometimes offer us weed to let him use ours. He was extremely paranoid, and I would be too after all that had happened to him. He liked to keep a stick propping open our hydraulically closed door, which would cause problems when it rained or snowed, but it was the worst in the summer. The flies would fly in the front door where they would get stuck, and they would build up. There would be 100+ flies buzzing around, and they would inevitably make it into your apartment, and no one wants a house full of flies. So when our new neighbor moves in, and we'll call him Dickhead, we got other stories about Dickhead in the future, but Dickhead didn't have a care in the world, so when he found out Jim loves his stick propping open our door to see who's coming in and out, he breaks the stick, and Jim calls the cops. The cops get there, Jim's screaming out his window because he's scared. Him and Dickhead about just fought in the stairs. Jim punched the wall, almost putting a hole in it. The cops tell him to shut up and get back in his window. So he does, and we all agree to keep the door closed in the winter. Well, that's going to wrap up this story time. If you'd like to hear more stories about Crackhead Jim, leave a like and a comment letting me know. Thanks for watching.